Hey, it's Avril Lavigne, and I just did an interview here on the Zach Sang Show.
Let's do this.
Zach Sang Show.
Hello, beautiful human. What are you doing there, Daniel?
Nothing.
We're in the presence of,
You can say it.
we're in the presence of an icon, a human being who has shaped music for me and so many others, and you shape culture at large. Like, Avril Lavigne's here. Yeah. So
Thank you.
cool.
Aw, thank you for having me.
Is it crazy to think about the fact that a young girl from Canada was able to make an impact on culture and an entire generation that is still felt today, but not only felt by the generation that shared and really got a chance to enjoy your music, but it's being passed on to those coming next?
I mean, it's hard to think, for myself, it's hard to think of it that way, but I mean, I can't even believe it. I mean, my first song, Complicated, came out in 2002, guys.
Oh.
What's that, 17 years ago?
Yeah.
And you were 17.
Yeah, and I was 17. Not anymore. But yeah, I mean, it's really cool because I came out during this time where, Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and NSYNC and everybody was having backup dancers, super pop music. And when I was making my album, the first one, I just kept being I just want guitars and I just want to sound like a band. And I was trying to express myself as a young artist and just be I just want my music to be kind of cool and rock and to hear music and I was embraced by a record company that, even though that wasn't the thing at the time, seeing too many young sort of pop rock artists, especially at that time, L.A. Reid, who signed me and discovered me, he just looked at me. Probably I was dressed like this in his office, just super cash. And he was I was 15 or 16, and he was you know what? You have your own thing going on. Normally we would put you with stylists and whatever, and you'd figure out a style and who you are. He's just be you. Whatever you got, this thing you got going on, just do that. And I was able to really just follow my gut and my intuition and, make that music that I made.
What does that do for your confidence? Because growing up, it was preps versus the punks, right?
Totally.
And people judged you for this lifestyle and the eyeliner and what you wore.
Yeah, I kind of got a bit of a hard time for it. Now it's people accept that more, and tattoos and colored hair. But people were mean to me about that stuff, having green and pink in my hair and black nails and whatever, black eyeliner.
Because it was just against the norm. It was against the grain, which then turned into the mainstream, essentially.
Yeah.
How do you feel as a young kid when somebody some big fancy music executive looks at you and goes, do you? Because no matter what everybody else is saying, what you are is something special that needs to be, you need to see where it goes, and it can't be held back.
I don't think I really got it until later. So hindsight, now looking back, it's wow, that was cool. L.A. Reid, he sort of just was okay, do your thing. And I mean, I definitely had to fight because I wrote that first album. I spent a whole entire year, and I wrote with a lot of different people. And because I was so young, they were sort of expecting people to just hand me songs. And so I would sing some of these songs and I hated them. And so I had to fight to write. Because I was so young, I don't think they really knew how much I could write or not. And there was a lot of collaborating and me taking songs that I had started on my own and just me also finding my way and discovering who am I, what am I going for.
Is it confusing when you're 17 to be writing such emotional records? Because it's you are still discovering yourself.
Yes.
Does that help you discover yourself, the writing process?
It was all just really natural for me. I had moments that I would even think to myself, where is this coming from? Or I'd listen back to a song and just feel how am I coming up with that stuff? And that's writing music is kind of like a magical experience. Like you can tap into like different, you know, your past or who knows, maybe a past life. Like, I don't know. And like just different scenarios. And I was just very musical and expressive. And I liked writing like little poems when I was younger. I was around a lot of music, like in church and I started singing there. And then like country fair.